bit about OpenVMS. Okay, let's mention some things about VMS because there's some things happening in that world. First of all, a very brief update on the operating system itself and where that is at. VSI have now released kind of a patch release. It's 8.4-2L1, a really catchy name there. But they've now released that version on both Integrity and Alpha, so you can now have the new VSI operating system version on both of those platforms. And we have introduced Synergy support for that new platform on new version of VMS, and it was introduced in the 10.3.3b release. So if you want to go to VSI VMS, currently the 8.4.2L1 build, then you would need to be on 10.3.3b of Synergy or higher. VSI are currently working on one more 8. release for OpenVMS. They're still calling it 8.x, so presumably it's going to be an 8.5, but who knows. And one of the changes they're doing there is they're fully integrating the TCP/IP stack into VMS. Currently, you install either the multi-net product or the TCP/IP services, or what used to be called UCX, as a layered product and then configure it. They're fully integrating the TCP/IP stack with the OpenVMS operating system. And it's not based on the same stack. They're taking in Process Software's multi-net environment and baking that into the VMS operating system. We have already done some work. Roger's team have been working with them, and the work that is needed to support that new stack is included in 10.3.3c of Synergy. So if you want to go to the next 8.x release or subsequent, you need to be on 10.3.3c to get that new TCP/IP capability. And again, Roger, I'm sure, will probably mention more in that area. A couple of things about the server products on OpenVMS. On affecting both XF Server and XF Server Plus, there's a new setting available, which is min pool. On VMS, we create, when you have a server product, we create a pool of processes ready and waiting to deal with connections as a performance enhancement, so that when a connection comes in, it's immediately handed to an existing process. And that mechanism's always been there, but you could pretty much configure the free pool size. Well, it would grow, but anyway, what you can now do is specify a minimum size for the pool. So what this will allow you to do is say, at boot time, immediately start 20, and it can still grow beyond that point, subject to the free pool parameter that was always there. So you could say min pool is 20, free pool is 5, and it would immediately create 20, so it's ready to deal with peaks, essentially, is the idea here. And because you've said free pool 5, when it gets to 15, it'll start allocating new ones. So it'll always keep that 5 process headroom, or 10, or whatever you set, but you can start off the pool at a higher level and be ready for those peaks that happen through the day. With XF Server also, I don't like to call out bugs in this presentation, but I think Roger kind of wanted me to. We fixed a bug on VMS to do with XF Server and to do with using read with wait on lock. And what we were finding was there was a scenario where if you do read with wait on lock through XF Server to VMS, the process would go into a compute loop. And a few customers found this, and it was kind of a big deal. It affected all versions of Synergy from 9.5.1 through 10.3.3b, and it has now been resolved in C. Specifically, if you use XF Server on VMS and you do read and wait on lock, you might want to look into this one. Telnet debugging on OpenVMS. This is certainly not a new feature. Look at the slide, 9.1. That's years ago. The reason I mentioned this was this one somehow totally missed me. I had no idea this even existed. So it is possible to use the remote Telnet debugger environment to OpenVMS systems as well. You do it by defining a DBGRMT setting with the -RD port and timeout, like you do on the Windows runtime environment, and then run the program. And now you get to Telnet into it from the outside world and debug it that way, which can be very, very nice. So not new, but it snuck past me, so for the VMS people there, I just thought I'd mention that. It's great for debugging XF Server Plus environments, for example. It's much easier than the old way of doing it.